Questions about real estate in Georgia. Buying a property in Georgia can be a great investment, but before that, you should carefully study all the nuances of this process. In this article, we will try to answer all possible questions that a potential investor may have. All these questions are important for those who are planning to invest in real estate in Georgia or just want to buy a house here. Our article will help you make the right choice and avoid possible mistakes. Real estate market overview. The history of the Georgian real estate market is closely linked to the overall economic and political development of the country. After the collapse of the USSR in the 90s of the last century, the country experienced a difficult period of economic decline. However, since the 2000s, Georgia has been actively developing and attracting the attention of foreign investors. The Georgian real estate market has undergone significant changes in recent years. This is mainly due to the active development of tourism and an increase in the influx of foreign investors. Especially popular are Tbilisi and Batumi, cities with a rich history, unique culture and developed infrastructure. Varida Kaftaraja from $101,928 Georgia. Tbilisi. Sabortalo Hisna from $66,764 Georgia. Tbilisi. Asani. Passage Gladini from $51,516 Georgia. Tbilisi. Guldani Inn from $50,402 Georgia. Tbilisi. Guldani Aimtown from $28,920 Georgia. Tbilisi. Guldani Gardenside Gladini from $47,151 Georgia. Tbilisi. Guldani. The Georgian real estate market has grown significantly in recent years. The main driver of this growth was the active development of tourism and an increase in demand for housing from foreigners. At the same time, the cost of real estate in Georgia is still quite democratic, especially in comparison with European countries. Global and regional events, such as economic crises or political changes, inevitably affect the real estate market. For example, the COVID-19 pandemic has led to a temporary decline in housing demand due to restrictions on international flights. However, as the situation improves, demand starts to grow again. Investment in real estate in Georgia. Real estate investment in Georgia is becoming an increasingly popular choice among foreign investors. This is due to a number of advantages offered by Georgian real estate market. Prices for real estate in Georgia are quite democratic, especially compared to prices in Europe or the USA. This makes the purchase real estate in Georgia accessible to a wide range of investors. The possibility of obtaining a stable rental income. Georgia is a popular tourist destination, so the demand for rental housing here is always high. This is especially true for resort towns such as Batumi or Boryomi. There are no restrictions for foreign investors in Georgia. Foreigners can freely buy, own and sell real estate in Georgia, which makes the investment process simple and transparent. However, as with any investment, real estate purchase in Georgia has its own risks. Therefore, before making a decision to buy real estate, it is important to conduct a thorough market analysis. Study all legal and financial aspects, as well as consider your financial capabilities and plans for the future. Advantages and risks of investing in real estate in Georgia. Investment in real estate Georgia has a number of advantages that make it attractive to foreign investors. Market stability. The Georgian real estate market has been growing steadily in recent years, which makes investments in it reliable. High rental demand. Georgia is a popular tourist destination, so rental housing, especially in resort areas, can bring a stable income. No bureaucratic obstacles. Georgian legislation does not provide for restrictions for foreign investors, which simplifies the process of buying real estate. However, like any other investment, Buying real estate in Georgia has its own risks. Exchange rate fluctuations. Currency fluctuations can affect the value of your investment. If you are planning to invest foreign currency in Georgian real estate, it is important to take this factor into account. Changing economic situation in the country. As in any other country, the economic situation in Georgia may change, which may affect the value of real estate and the demand for rent. Risks associated with the management and maintenance of real estate. Property management, especially if you live in another country, can be challenging. This includes maintaining the property, finding tenants, managing rent payments, and so on. Therefore, before investing in real estate in Georgia, it is important to conduct a thorough research and, if necessary, consult with experts. Legal aspects. Buying a property in of Georgia by foreigners process, which is very simplified compared to many other countries. Georgian legislation provides for a minimum of bureaucratic obstacles for foreign investors, which makes the process of buying real estate simple and transparent. However, despite the simplicity of the process, it is important to keep in mind the importance of conducting a full legal review of the property before purchasing. This includes checking the property rights, the absence of encumbrances and mortgages, as well as the object's compliance with all legal requirements. Georgia has very loyal tax conditions for property owners. For example, when selling an object, the income tax is only 5%. This is significantly lower than in most European countries. When buying a property, you will also need to pay a state fee. Its size depends on the value of the object and is about 1% of the value of the property. This is important to take into account when planning a real estate purchase budget. It's also worth noting that in Georgia has no estate tax for foreign citizens, which is an additional advantage for investors. Financial aspects. Financial aspects play a key role in the process real estate purchases in Georgia. In addition to the cost of the facility itself, there are a number of additional costs to consider. These include taxes and fees, which include real estate tax, rental income tax, and government duty on the purchase of real estate. Therefore, before making a decision to buy real estate in Georgia, it is recommended to conduct a thorough financial analysis and consult with experts. This will help to take into account all the possible risks and determine the actual investment value. You should also pay attention to the possibility of financing the purchase of real estate. In Georgia, there are various credit and installment schemes that can be a convenient solution for investors. However, when choosing this option, it is important to take into account all the conditions and possible risks. Life in Georgia. Georgia is a country with a rich history, unique culture and friendly people. Here you can enjoy beautiful scenery, delicious food and quality wine. Life in Georgia is characterized by its pace and style, which may seem unusual for foreigners, but at the same time very attractive. Georgia is a country with deep traditions and rich culture. Here, people value family, friendship and hospitality. Georgians are known for their holidays, which are accompanied by songs, dances and, of course, traditional Georgian dishes. Cost of living in Georgia relatively low compared to many European countries. Utilities, food, and transportation are all available at very reasonable prices. However, it should be taken into account that depending on the region and type of real estate, costs may vary. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. Buying real estate in any country is a process that requires attention and accuracy. In the case of Georgia, there are several common mistakes that can become an obstacle to a successful purchase. One of the most common mistakes is insufficient study of the object and its legal purity. Buying a property with legal problems can lead to additional costs and headaches in the future. To avoid this, We recommend that you perform a full inspection of the item before purchasing it. This includes checking real estate documents, property history, and no encumbrances. Another mistake can be underestimating the additional costs associated with the purchase and maintenance of real estate. This may include taxes, fees, and expenses for repairs and maintenance of the property. It is also important to take into account that real estate in Georgia, as in any other country, is subject to the influence of market conditions. This means that prices can both rise and fall, depending on the economic situation in the country and in the world. To minimize risks, it is recommended to contact real estate professionals who will help you conduct a complete market research. Select a suitable object and accompany the transaction. Conclusion. So, we have considered the main aspects of buying real estate in Georgia. We hope that our article will help you make the right choice and successfully invest in real estate in this unique country. If you still have any questions, you can always contact our experts for advice.